standing in his sunroof while driving his Cadillac down I-40.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am Reina Creole. I'm here with my wingman, Culture Casino, and of course, this is the Welcome to Florida show where we just have a great time laughing, learning, cringing about the second craziest state in the union. So, my dear, how are you doing?
I'm good. I hope everybody had the same kind of Mother's Day that we had. It's been a very lovely Mother's Day for the moms in my life. I hope you had a good Mother's Day, Lorena.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. I certainly did have a wonderful Mother's Day because I went to Publix today.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody does here for Mother's Day, and I had to load up on the essentials like the chicken tender. Well, I got a buffalo chicken tender pub sub. So I got one here. I've got some buttercream icing. Yes, that is butter. That's nothing but buttercream icing. And yeah. Straight buttercream icing. But here, let's see. Of course, there's the Diet green sweet tea. They have black sweet tea, but I got the green sweet tea with the ginseng in it because that's also very, very refreshing. Sweet green tea.
How did they make it diet?
Because they probably use Splenda instead of cane sugar. I think that's what they do. That's what they do. I don't know. It's green tea. I said, yeah, because if I get the diet ones, then that means I can like use it for things like this. Because I've been passing these by in Publix for like months. And today I said, you know what? It's Mother's Day. I'm gonna grab these Petit Fours. And they are so, oh my gosh, they are so good. They're so good.
Fancy.
I want to know who it is that Publix hired. I mean, the macarons, you get six for $10. It's a pretty culinary intensive process to make these and make them so they're not dried out and nasty or anything like that.
Right.
They're so good. Oh my gosh. They're worth the $10.
It sounds like you're set. You're pretty set with your snacks.
Yeah, I got the snacks for a couple of days. I did pass this one up because this was too much.
Oh boy, banana cream
cheesecake.
Oh,
only in the South.
Oh.
Banana cream. Nana pudding cream cheesecake. That's pretty much what it is with vanilla wafers and stuff up on the top. I said I just took a picture for posterity, but yeah, I have to, Dave Cable. I'm telling you, sugar is one of how did Brett Butler put it? There's four food groups in 4 Southern food groups: sugar, salt, grease, and alcohol. Those are the 4.
Well, I think that's accurate. I think that's right.
Well, Scott Westbrook, thank you so much for donating all of those memberships. Sure to appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Folks, if you got gifted a membership, you definitely want to go back to the community tab on my page to check out all the extras that I've dropped for you guys. And of course, the live streams we had together. The last thing we did was a webinar where we all watched Blazing Saddles. So you want to go back and watch that watch party because after about another week or so, it's going to get uploaded to my YouTube channel. So you definitely want to check that out. Love it. Got some new things coming up for you guys for members. Your girl is actually going to be going on a road trip. I got to go back to Philly and officially clean out my storage unit, which means I will have completely removed myself from the People's Republic of Pennsylvania. So that's what I'll be doing for the next 2 weeks. And if you're a channel member, hey, might do some videos while I'm on the road. So you guys do not want to miss that, especially if I see that new Buc-ee's that they built near south of the border.
Ooh.
That's what I want to check out.
All right. You'll have to keep us updated on that. So.
Oh, I most certainly will. Most certainly will.
That might be a short that I could watch and drool over.
Buc-ee's, the 20 feet of jerky. Maybe I'll catch the brisket song.
There you go. If you're lucky.
If I'm lucky, because that it's something to behold for sure. Hey, Keely Chow says, hey, everybody. We'll roll tide. Hello to you and thank you. This is Happy Mother's Day. I appreciate that. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, including my sister, who probably is not going to get a chance to watch this video live, or she'll come in at the end. But hey, Jerry Minosa, thank you. Goof435 is here in the chat. Dave Cable, hey, Lorena, keeper of the Publix Yummies. Yes, I am. I love it. Publix is one of my number one tips to give people if you are visiting the Orlando area, whether you're at Disney, Universal, whatever. Definitely hit Publix up for those meals and essentials. You will be so glad that you did. Yeah. Trader Joe's is only second because that parking lot sucks.
That's terrible.
It sucks. I was just there Friday. I'm like, really?
You would think that they would have a better situation there. I mean, there's a world-class championship golf course community right next to that place. There is zero reason.
No reason whatsoever to make that parking lot so darn small. I get there with an attitude. Even though now they're like, oh, well, if there's no parking spot and you park for the valet parking in the restaurant that's like next door, they will validate your parking. I'm like, that's not the point. The parking lot is not big enough.
Yeah, they need a parking garage.
They do. Hey, Lance says, greetings from the UK. Well, hello, my dear. Hello.
I need to get back to you. I will get back to you this week, my friend.
Oh man, I do too. Lance. I do too. Especially to talk Epcot, because he's got some really nice like pictures from back in the day from Epcot. So we got to bring you on for Epcot stream.
There you go.
Let's see. Mark Daly says, greetings for the Panhandle. I can't talk today. Panhandle, aka South Georgia. Well, good to see you, Mark Daly. Always as usual. And yes, if it wasn't for Florida, this country would be boring. That's for real.
You still have the crazy California folks, but
yeah, that's true.
And they're crazy. They're crazy spread north, because there's like the coastal Oregon and up through like the Midwest, or excuse me, the middle part of Washington State. The middle of the coast up there.
It is nuts. I said, when I moved to LA, I said, I will never talk about Jersey drivers ever again in my life. Drivers are that bad in LA. Ugh. Let's see. Got to try the chicken tender sub with boar's head peppercorn gourmet. Ooh. Okay. I will have to try that. I do know boar's head cold cuts are the bomb. Oh my gosh. Love cold cuts from there. Hey, Steve says, hey there, Lorena. Hope your weekend has been good. Well, my weekend has been great. So glad to see you. John Self is in the chat. Good to see you here. And yes, yes, they do. They purposely set that stuff up. It's a trap. We all know it. We don't care. Hey, Tim Hayes says, hey, Lorena Creole. Good to see you. Culture saying hi to the chat. And let's see. An unexpected fire. I see you there. My dear. I'll see you there. This is howdy all. Howdy all. Good to see you. Well, folks, I see you 19 folks in the chat. Of course, we are going to be talking about Disney World making money but losing guests. So we're actually going to be talking about that with respect to the Q2 2023 earnings report. But before we get to that, we got to go through our memes for the week, courtesy of the Florida Memes group on Facebook. If you want to interact with some Floridians in real time, go to that Facebook group because
That's where you do it.
I'm telling you, I don't care how crappy of a day I've had. I'll go to that group and I'll just laugh because
Oh,
some
yeah.
of the stuff is it's just too funny.
Bonkers.
Bonkers. And yeah, driving in Florida with no window tint. Yeah, that is true. That is 100% true. The sun down here is no joke, folks. I can't tell you how many people I've seen who will come here and think that the sun isn't really a problem. It's a big problem. Yeah. Yeah. Australians, this doesn't apply to you because y'all know what to do exactly when it comes to
Yep.
sun protection. Y'all, you know the deal. So yeah, why is it when something always happens, it's always you three? Yeah, California, Texas, and Florida. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yep.
Usually it's us. uh Contrary to popular belief, the Florida state bird, the mockingbird, does not get its name from its ability to mimic sounds, but rather because it actually mocks birds. And I've run into a couple of these before, and I'm just like, what? It's weird. But yeah, that's pretty much what they are. They'll just imitate you. I don't like what they tried to call a flamingo, though. Tourists don't understand the Florida sun, then they become lobsters.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh. A lot of folks from the UK or other parts of Europe will visit and they will look a wreck after like one day. Like, oh,
Yes.
no.
It's like you have to take that sun seriously when you get here. I can't tell you how many times I've seen EMS at Disney
Yep.
because someone's had a heat stroke, particularly visitors from Europe who are not used to this type of sun going on because it is intense
Yep.
and you've got it reflecting off the asphalt at the same time. And even if it's cloudy, don't be fooled. Still sun.
Ooh.
I love Plant City. I've driven through Plant City so many times. Johnson Barbecue and Plant City just released a t-shirt with their favorite Yelp review. Epic. It says Johnson's BBQ. And there's 1 star, no vegan food here. Love it.
Let's talk about monetizing your haters, baby.
Whoo,
Yep.
that's right.
Serve up that haterade.
I need to visit Johnson's Barbecue just so I can get this darn shirt. Absolutely. The barbecue was on point when they got the license plates on the wall. A good barbecue joint, it's not about the aesthetics. It's about that barbecue and that wonderful barbecue smell. Ugh, love it, love it, love it. Johnson's Barbecue in Plant City. Gotta check
Sounds
it out.
good.
Yep. Vegan Recovery Center. I like that. Yeah. And here's our last one. How to experience Florida from anywhere in the world. So, especially for you folks who want to know what it's like to live in Florida. 1, do your laundry. 2, when you put your clothes in the dryer, start it normally. 3, wait until the cycle is half done or whenever your clothes are still damp and the dryer is hot and open it. Stick your face, arm, leg, or whatever body part you want in the dryer. Congratulations. That's how Florida feels 24/7, 365. enjoy your homey Florida.
That's about
That's
right.
pretty, yeah. Yeah. That's that pretty much it. uh it's hot, it's humid here, it's sticky. And for those of you preparing to visit in the summer, be prepared. Moisture wicking clothes, moisture wicking underwear, matching t-shirts sounds like a good idea, but not as functional as like say matching what do they call that? Matching activewear shirts that wick moisture away from your body.
Yep.
Hit up your Target or Walmart for that.
Yep. Yeah, there are people who literally that's what they wear is all their clothing, shorts, leggings, whatever you want to call them. They're all moisture wicking activewear, the shirts, the whole nine. Hey, what's up, Punk Trace?
Hey, Punk Trace.
Grizzly.
Yep. That's what I do when I stream. I always have like Fabletics on. My favorite thing is the moisture wicking, workout pants that have the pockets in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I know a lot of ladies go with the leggings, but the loose fit gives you a little more cooling action as you move. So
yeah, folks, gotta dress for that weather.
Yeah. You know what? And here's the thing: if you're wearing good quality wicking material, long sleeves are not a problem, and it keeps you from burning.
That is very true.
Yeah.
That is very true. And for those of you who are, I'll say, if you are talented enough to sew,
oh yeah,
you can buy that moisture wicking activewear material by the yard. Yes, you absolutely can. Matching shirts looks cool, but it's not cool when you're soaked in armpit sweat.
Yeah. I mean, you can take your favorite matching outfit decal and put it on the activewear shirt.
Yeah, do that instead.
Yeah.
Do that. And also, Crocs may be ugly, but I'll tell you one thing: your feet will be extremely happy.
Yeah, I don't wear pants in Florida unless I'm going to like a nice restaurant or something. And when I do, I wear like linen or something like that. But it's always shorts weather in Florida, even when it's rainy. The only time it's not shorts weather is when it's January and for 11 days it's really cold.
That's about it. You get like a quick snap. Yeah. Someone asked me, how come there's all this stuff that they have at the parks for, long sleeve shirts and hoodies and stuff like that? I'm like, no, I don't buy that. I can only wear it like a week or a week out of the year, and I don't know when that's going to be.
Well, the HH gear that's in Norway is like my favorite buy, right? But that's only because I know that I'm going to go to cold weather climates. You can't wear that in Florida. Although their rain, they have a very thin like rain windbreaker there. That is premium. That thing works fantastic. Just if you ever stuck for rain gear, it's expensive, but it's the best. It's the best weather cutting windbreaker you're going to get that keeps you from getting wet in the Florida rain.
Oh, nice.
Otherwise, you just go to a janitorial cart and grab a garbage bag.
Just trust me, it's better and
a hole
cheaper
in the middle
than
false in our arms, and you're
buying
done.
a $15
Mickey
parka
one
that rips up.
Yeah, and you're only going to wear that. You're only going to wear it for like, gosh, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes because that's how long the rain shower is going to last. So it's just dumb.
Yeah, and trust me, when the rain starts, they will pack those parkas up, those ponchos, right at every single.
There are boxes underneath every merch cart of ponchos that are just ready to go to sale. They're ready to go to sale. They have a sign. They have a sign and a box. They're right next to each other. Yeah, they need more rain at Disney right now because they're not making the kind of money they used to.
No, they really are not. So for folks who aren't aware, Walt Disney Company had their Q2 2023 earnings call, which if you thought the stockholders meeting was a dumpster fire, this one they put gasoline on it for the for the most part. So while they talked about their earnings and how not so great things were actually going with Disney Plus, but if you move over to like the parks and everything, Disneyland they all made money. However, most of it was not made by Walt Disney World. You saw all the increases at like Shanghai, Tokyo Disney, Disneyland. Well, Disneyland made up the domestic difference. So I'm not surprised, but it's very interesting that now they're forced to actually come to terms with the fact that a lot of people have hit their bulk limit when it comes to visiting Walt Disney World. Because of just how I mean, I think I posted a picture of how much it costs, like the daily tickets. They're nuts now.
Yeah. And yeah, and here's the thing is they continue to report negative results. And when it starts to show up in the domestic theme park areas, the institutional investors pay attention and they get freaked out. And Disney's one of the, and was going to be in a video I was going to do this week, but might as well spill the beans here with my friend Lorena and just say that over 35% of this company, I think it's 37%, is actually owned by the top 25 shareholders. Those are all institutional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a few like individuals, there are not that many individuals that have, the kind of stock power as Nelson Peltz or somebody like, let's say, Perlmutter or somebody like that. But there could be. And that anytime they have that kind of a move in their stock price, volatility they're subject to more volatility because it's really easy for an institution to go, oh crap, you guys are really not going the right direction. And we're going to sell off this giant chunk of stock.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're sitting under, or why they're hovering at that $92 level. I have a feeling that downward pressure by the end of next week, it's going to be sub 90. So we'll see. And there's no good news here. And every time the Florida government has a win, they're losing. Universal's winning. But anyway, that's a bigger story. Let's get to it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they are. No worries. Hey, John Edgar, good seeing you. Chef Nation is here. Says, good evening, beautiful people. Well, hello to you, my dear, the little chef. Good to see you. And hey, John says, well, the theme parks are doing okay, but having to hold up the company is not going well. And that's what I want to get at. And we're actually going to move on over to the earnings report with that part.
And John's 100% right. I mean, the theme park earnings look pretty good, except for an educated investor is going to look at it and say, okay, how much of that is unfortunately the growth of inflation year over year, quarter over quarter? I mean, we're still sitting at 5+% of inflation. That's way above the normal 2% of inflation, right? You want your stocks to be, performing better than will be above the rate of inflation. And if the rate of inflation and the amount of percentage of growth is too closely aligned, that again, that's one of those indicators that you look at trending. But yeah, I agree with you, John.
Yeah, I got you. See, unlike and it's funny that Dave Cable said this because I'm like, why the heck is Bob Iger shouting out Universal about Mario?
Why.
I'm like, you lost a bet, didn't you? Sorry, I keep picturing like Duke and Duke from Trading Places with the dollar bet.
It was a compliment, but it was kind of also a dig because they recently had to part ways with John Shell. I mean, over the Comcast Universal, NBCU lost him. Now, those two aren't exactly aligned across the board, but I mean, it also makes them look magnanimous, which, it's just whatever. I'm not like I said, that to me, that was just an acknowledgement, oh, wow, you finally had a win against us. I mean, you got to remember the guy we're dealing with, as Dave Cable points out here,
Yeah, because I'm like, my eyebrow went up like, what does this do for him? There's something going on for why he would go out and say that. But folks, we are going to move over here to the part of the earnings call. I'm going to blow this up so you guys are like, oh my God, I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it. So the thing that we want to look at here is Disney parks, experiences, and products. So to kind of show the difference between what's going on and why the parks are such a big deal for Disney. To recap, Disney gets the money to do all of their movies and Disney Plus shows and everything from the parks. The parks are the source of their revenue to fund those projects. With Comcast Universal, it's different. The parks are a small segment of their portfolio. So they're not depending on the likes of Universal Orlando or Universal Hollywood or Universal Studios Japan to fund their films. So for them, the model is switched. Hey, Ginger Ninja, good to see you. Good to see you, my dear. All over there in Japan, how you doing, dude? I actually priced a flight from Orlando to Narita, planning for 2025 because Tokyo Disneyland is calling me. Lord have mercy.
Well, hey, if you're gonna go, maybe we'll go because I was supposed to go there for the 50th birthday.
Woo!
Yeah, we'll get the boss and I over there, and we'll storm the castle.
Yeah, I will keep that in mind because I'm just like
storming the castle. That'll be fun.
Yes. All right. So the first one here, of course, they made money. Their revenue increased to 6.7 billion compared to 3.2 billion the prior quarter. Higher operating results for the quarter reflected increases at our domestic parks, experiences, and business, and to a lesser extent at our international parks and resorts and merchandise licensing businesses. But here's what I am interested in. I love how they say operating income growth was due to higher volumes and increased guest spending. Here's my question. They've increased the prices across the board. So it's not like, hey, guests are like, you know what? We have money. We're going to spend extra money with what's going on. I'm just like, I don't believe that this is the case. If every time I go, you notice how much more expensive things are. So is it that increased guest spending is because they have to, because the prices have increased? Because the way they kind of make it sound like as if guests are just, they're just happy to spend more money. And I really don't believe that that's the case.
I think increased guest spending is not a lie. I've pointed this out before during the time that they took a break during the closing in Florida. The across the board, you saw increases from 18 to 30% in food and merchandise when they were closed. So for that brief period they were closed in Florida, those prices have continued to go up. Ticket prices have gone up higher than ever. Higher volume, it only appears that way. I mean, a lot of people will understand this because when you look at how they're artificially creating scarcity and creating the they're making the parks overly crowded because they've limited capacity in a lot of different things, including attractions. They're keeping restaurants closed that could normally be open. There's a lot of things that they've done to artificially increase guest spend. They had a pretty decent increase in merchandise costs. I mean, that's it. So, they do have higher costs. They're going to have even higher costs now, and they're going to have some very unhappy guests. When Disney tries to lay off their giant tax burden upon the people that are going to the park. So I have a feeling that they're going to create a tsunami of people not interested in spending that. Yeah, exactly. This is what it is. Per capita ticket revenue. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Higher average daily. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Because this is what I was looking for: increasing food, beverage, and merchandise spending. It's just like,
and I was just way too chatty about it, so I was overly verbose to say that.
No. It's perfectly fine. It's like I saw it and I'm just like, okay, well, as someone who's been in the parks and kind of looking around, it's like I've noticed a vast increase in
Yeah.
how much the prices are. So it's like, okay, if you got your people there, people visiting, hotel room is like $50 more per day than it used to be. Meals are more than they used to be. Then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, of course that's going to be
Yeah. Yeah, and John,
increased.
and John says it in the chat in another way that I could have said it, which is the goal of Disney business plan has been to increase dollars spent by customers with fewer guests in the park to lower payroll in the long run. He's exactly right. It's the whole reason that they created the NGE was for this super hypersensitive scheduling tool that was also incorporated in that
Mm-hmm.
on systems that are antiquated and essentially creating guest frustration. So yeah. I am 100% on point with that. Again, these are all the lovely gifts bearing their fruit now, courtesy of Tom Staggs, who was set to be the president of Walt
Mm-hmm.
Disney Company when Iger left. But they ran him out for some reason. Probably the $2 billion he spent on NGE when it was supposed to cost less than $1 billion.
Yeah.
Probably.
And that is definitely the gift that keeps on giving.
Yep.
And I mean that very, 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 very tongue in cheek.
Yep.
Melissa Bell, hello, my dear, says they are making it too expensive for the normal family to want to go.
Indeed.
100%. Now, granted, it's like, I got money to spend, but there are people like me who were just like, you know what? I could spend that $800 a night on the Polynesian, but I'm not going to because that's ridiculous. So I'm going to go stay at the Pop Century instead. So I've done that. I know a lot of other people who do that. They're just like, it's not worth it. I'm not going to spend that. But for people who have an even tighter budget, it's harder for them to get there. So people are just like, why should I do this? Why should I pay this extra money? It's expensive. I'm not getting benefits that I used to, because it used to be that even when Disney increased the amount you had to pay per night to say stay at, an All-Star or Pop Century, it's like, hey, I get an hour in the morning in the park, I get 3 hours in the evening, at the parks. I had Magical Express to bring me here and I could check my bags in at the hotel, for the airline. I don't have to deal with that. So that value was in there. And now that value is gone, especially for people who are on super tight budgets. They're not doing themselves any favors, because they used to talk about how affordable a Disney trip is. You notice they don't talk about that anymore.
Nope, they can't.
In
And that
their
was the whole point. I
advertising.
mean, they have been trying to cull their lower demographic, the financially able from their midst. They've been trying that for a long time, and they've done that with targeted surveys and things like that, trying to appeal more to an upper echelon customer.
Mhm.
They really leaned in heavily to the Disney branded Disney adult stuff. The lifestylers, they called them. That eventually is going to bite them in the ass, because their politics aren't lending themselves to procreating. So they're not super hyped on procreation. They're right in with the anti-procreation group.
Yeah,
So you've got some real problems there. So yeah.
you do. And to tag on to what Dave Cable said here, Melissa Bell is right. My wife and I can get into Universal for half what it would cost to get into Disney. Interesting that you should mention that, because when I went price searching on the Disneyland site, because yes, I am planning to come to Disneyland next year in the fall, I just happened to price like the tickets to get into the park in Disneyland. I'm like, okay, that's kind of steep. And then looked at how much it costs to go to Universal Hollywood, and I'm like, the price difference is insane. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so much cheaper. I mean, I knew that about here in Orlando, which is another thing, because Universal's always running specials like buy 2 days, get 3 free, because they want to get you in there. Their value hotels less than $100, a night, and they make it so easy.
Yep.
And they're definitely catering to families. That whole Minions area,
Yeah.
I just saw them put the pink cupcake is up there now on top of the Minions Cafe. They're all in on families.
Yeah. And if I had the opportunity to make it to IAPA this year, I think that this is going to be a subject of conversation with people there, talking about what's happening with Disney and their strategy versus what Universal's doing. I think that's going to be talked about quite a bit. Anyway,
Hmm.
for what it's worth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't wait to hear what happens there. But the other thing is they're talking about the increase in average per capita ticket revenue was due to a favorable attendance mix and the introduction of Genie Plus and Lightning Lane. I notice a lot of more people have had to go with Genie Plus or Lightning Lane because it's like I only have a limited amount of time at a vacation. And it's like if I don't get it, I'm not going to get in line to do any of those attractions. Because I think for Genie Plus, was it Genie Plus? It hit a record amount per day. I think like during the Easter holidays, it was like over $30.
Oh,
That's $30 per person, folks.
yeah. And again, I'm going to say it this way. That's all intentional. They're actually limiting standby and the opportunity to utilize the virtual queue so that they can earn more money. This is it. Favorable attendance.
You're absolutely right, John. So
Yep.
less locals and annual pass holders.
They've removed almost every advantage for an annual pass holder now. Almost every advantage. And not only that, they've now removed almost every advantage for anybody that owns DVC. They've removed almost every advantage to anybody who, participates in almost any Disney program. And they've eliminated any value added anything that they used to give to their resort staying customers. There's almost no advantage to staying on property. I mean, honestly, what extra magic benefits do you actually get? And have you actually felt any magic in the parks in the last 5 or 6 years? Have you had those wow moments? They're probably pretty limited.
And mainly at the Animal Kingdom. And this hit me when I was there.
Well, because of the president who was there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the Animal Kingdom and I'm like, because you guys saw like the oh my gosh, Festival of the Lion King show.
Yeah.
Just everything that was out there, the immersion where it's like you enmeshed in like the animal, environment, doing stuff like there's birds out there, exotic birds flying around you that you can, observe, and just how the park is laid out. I'm like, it's like I forgot what good Imagineering was, and it seems like the Animal Kingdom Park is the only place where that is right now.
Yeah, well, and yet, I mean, I've been kind of bummed, because I've found less cast member interaction at all of the parks, and I mean, you're talking to a guy who owned a Premier Pass that gave you bi-coastal park access year round, for years and years. And, I don't have that pass anymore. There's no point. I'll probably only go to Disneyland for special occasions now. And I'm probably not going to go to Disney World near as often. In fact, best chance of me going to Universal as a Universal pass holder. I'm going to go there and stay, I don't know, maybe at the Hard Rock or something. And, just kind of chill, and maybe look, the Asia Pacific is fantastic.
Oh, it sure is.
And I mean, the premium hotels there are good. They remind me of the deluxe offerings at Disney. Disney doesn't even bring the deluxe anymore. They're downgrading all their decorations, all their fixtures, everything. They're trying to make all of them look like a freaking Marriott Courtyard or something. It's terrible. No theming. Yeah, garbage.
No, and it doesn't stand out at all. So to kind of go down here a little bit more, of course, they were talking about Disneyland Paris and the other resorts, but let's get down here. Growth in merchandise licensing was driven by higher sales of merchandise based on Mickey and Minnie and Spider-Man, Star Wars
Classic. Boom.
classic.
Yeah. Totally different, differentiated, and there's a reason for that, because Star Wars Classic makes money and Star Wars new stuff is trash-tastic.
Trash.
Nobody wants it. They can't give it away. I mean, like right now, you go to any of the discount stores around here, you can find tons of the new Star Warsy stuff, and I'm talking about like all the way back to like the sequel trilogy. That stuff's just sitting on shelves still, even at the steep discount prices. Like, hey, you want this for $3? No.
Nope.
There are Baby Yodas sitting in the discount store. That's not good.
Oh, there is so much Mandalorian stuff at the Five Below.
Yeah.
It's nobody. It's like hardly anybody wants that stuff anymore. But classic Star Wars, because I have seen this happen at Disney World.
Yep.
Let them put out some Star Wars classic stuff.
Yeah.
People comb over that like locusts. There's like nothing left.
And here's the interesting thing. They're desperate to keep the Disney princesses relevant, but they're doing nothing but destroying them and undercutting their value. I mean, when was the last time, Disney princess seemed like a Disney princess? It's been a while. And I feel like, and I know maybe this is going to touch a lot of sensitive buttons, but I think Little Mermaid, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to make $1 billion. Like, no, Disney is lost a lot of trust. And I think that's going to be reflected there. So, I mean, is the new mermaid merchandise moving?
No. I was there. I was at the parks. First of all, I haven't seen any like end cap advertisements at Target. Usually that's where you go. There's like a big end cap and it's got like all the merchandising and stuff there. The last one that was there was Super Mario Brothers, and that sold out because people just bought everything. I haven't seen anything for the live action Little Mermaid at Target. And frankly, little girls aren't going to be buying those dolls. They're going to be looking at the WOW dolls, the LOL dolls, the latest incarnation of MGA dolls known as Bratz. They're looking at all that stuff.
Yeah. And it look, Disney's lost the attention of the people that would buy into these princess brands. Seriously. And they're continuing to do it. Again, it's because of their reliance, and they're leaning into the agenda stuff that they've been doing for the last several years. Parents are more inclined, and again, this is John probably see this all the time. You're seeing a broader array of guests age wise at Universal than maybe ever before. Because I think you're seeing younger and younger people at Universal than you would expect, because it's never been touted as that way. Now wait until they get Epic Universe done, and you're getting even more young people over there. And then Universal knows that they have a shortfall. So what are they doing in Texas? Well, they're building a younger, demographically oriented theme park there. And that's just the beginning. Texas, that's just their starting point in Texas. That's, it's going to go from that, And again, I mean, broader appear, they're going to steal more market share. And then the permanent installation of Hollywood Horror Nights in Vegas.
Oh
sorry,
my gosh, yeah.
Universal wins. Anyway, sorry. I keep taking
no, but it makes sense. Like when I was at the Animal Kingdom on Saturday, they had all of this live action Little Mermaid merchandise that was there. I walked through and showed people. I only saw one person just casually look at the merchandise. That's it. No one is clamoring, buying, trying to buy this merchandise. The Encanto section, I saw plenty of stuff over there that I wanted, and people were going through, things over there. But live action Little Mermaid, no. And like culture, like you were saying, they have watered down the Disney Princesses franchise so much. They've taken away what was special about the Disney princesses. And It's no
Hey,
longer special.
well, hey, and again, if they keep changing attractions and things like that, which is on the horizon for another couple of attractions, I think you're going to have some things. And yes, I have been told
I
about the
can't
DreamWorks
wait
Kid
for
Zone.
this. I
Yeah,
can't I can't wait for this. At Universal, I know I keep saying this, but it's true. At Universal, all right, when they bring out the DreamWorks characters, people lose their darn minds, especially Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots and Kitty Sawpaws. And they even have the Guy Diamond, the troll. Yeah, the one that farts glitter. Okay, he doesn't actually fart glitter in person, but he'll
are you
pretend
sure?
like he's farting glitter. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I asked. Because I asked. I'm sorry. I love the Trolls movie because I used to collect the little, the little troll dolls. So I just thought that they were funny. Funny they didn't have any Flounder or Sebastian
We're
plushes.
we're we're never going to get through this. But I look, I'm looking at the numbers here that you've got pulled up. I mean, obviously, the merchandise is off. It's been off for a while. And it's going to continue to go down. But when you look at the supplemental income, as we look at the
Mhm.
supplemental revenue detail, the first two things don't matter because those are the results of the pandemic. None of that matters at all, right? But when you look at the next name, consumer products, it barely moved the needle. And that's in
Mhm.
line with inflation. Again, any investor is going to look at that number and go, oh, that's not good. Yes, numbers are up for
But it's like,
2022.
yeah.
And this is the table that came out, well beyond anything that's relevant. I mean, these are 2 years ago's number. Well, 2 years and 1 year ago's number.
Mhm.
It's like hollow information. Anyway, we can keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's just, it's okay. I just wanted to take a look at that, but just wanted to look at that part
I'm sorry.
there and
I
kind of
digest these reports like I'm gonna buy something, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna buy this.
No, what I usually do is I had to actually I feel embarrassed. I had to go back and look up what operating income was because it's been years since I've taken any kind of accounting class. So I'm just like, I'm trying to remember what
You
that
and I
stuff
don't. I mean, I don't even deal with that anymore. That's the accountants.
was. Yeah, that's their that's their job.
I
But it's
want to pay
but it's
attention to
just
that.
like there's nothing. It's like
Money in there.
there's
That's
I'm
all I
like
ask. Is there money in there?
is there money or not? Yeah. I'm just like, are we losing money or not? It's like I don't I call a bean counter to have them do that kind of thing. But it's like there's nothing how would say there was nothing really happy about that
No,
earnings call. And
no.
the even the institutional investors
Yeah.
themselves started to get a little testy, and they were actually asking questions. And I'm going to blow this up. Let me switch over here. They were actually asking questions. This was from JP Morgan Chase. Now, JP Morgan JP Morgan usually is like, okay, can I
Softball.
kiss your butt any
Yeah.
harder? Oh
Softball.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Bob Iger, you're amazing. Yes, we love you. So we're gonna throw you a softball question. I think dude was like, okay, now it's time for stuff to get real. All right. So it's like, yeah, it's great to see the parks doing well, but what's going on? As Florida is such a big part of the company, but you have this political issue that only seems to get more press. It seems like you're stuck in this fight. So, how should investors think about the risk, both near term and long term business for Disney? Thank you.
I'm telling you, institutional owners are worried, because they have funds where people are going to pressure them get them to move away from Disney. Anyway, keep going. I'm sorry. The answer is brilliant.
Yeah, they sure did. So,
Yeah.
of course, Bob talks about Shanghai and keeps going, talks about Shanghai first, but he got real testy and apparently didn't know when to shut up and stop talking. But he goes back to, we're just trying to exercise our right to free speech. And, the state of Florida is coming down on us, and we're not different. I mean, we have a special district, but there's 2,000 special districts in Florida,
Yeah.
and how come, why are we being, picked on?
Obfuscating royally. There has never been, nor will there ever be, another district with the kind of power that RCID had. Also, he keeps linking Disney and what was formerly Reedy Creek Improvement District, basically making them one and the same. He is so effed in any court case at this point, right? And that was the closest you're going to get me to curse on Lorena's channel, but he's look, he can't win. The minute he continues to do this over and over again, he's opening himself up to criminal issues and many other officers within the company, including Mrs. McCarthy and many other folks that have been there before. You would have, at that point, the exposure here is 60 years worth of financial fraud.
Yep. And I would say go check Legal Mindset, because Andrew, he practices in the state of Florida. His specialty are these special districts, and Disney's lawyers don't have that experience, and they don't know what the heck it is that they're talking
These are
about.
New York lawyers that are running things for Disney. These guys are not only running things for Disney, but they're running things for Reedy Creek. Not just a conflict of interest. There might be oh gosh, there's a fancy term for it. It's a form of misconduct. They could be in some serious liability, and possibly they could be up on charges because this is beyond even a conflict of interest. This is bad news. And the worst thing they could have done was file a court case. It was the worst thing they could have done.
Yep. So even more so, of course, he steps in and even more talking about we're the largest taxpayer in Central Florida, paying over $1 billion in state and local taxes last year alone. And we pay more taxes, specifically real estate taxes, as a result of that special district. Yeah. Don't they fight against the real estate assessment?
They fight the real estate taxes every single year. And not only that, they are constantly reaching in one pocket to pay another pocket. And I'm going to give you an example. I mentioned this the other night, and nobody's picked up on it yet. I don't really want to do a video on it because I'm not a theme parks channel, but I'm going to say this. Buena Vista Construction Company. That's Disney. Who wins almost every single construction contract? Oh, and by the way, were they awarded a lot of construction contracts by RCID? Huh. Where are those tax monies really going exactly? Yeah. Anyway.
Tell you, it's nuts. It's nuts. And then, of course, let's see, where's the other thing that he started talking about, that he opened his mouth? We talked a whole lot of things, but basically proud of the tourism industry that we created.
No, they didn't.
The state of Florida had a tourism industry before Disney.
We've talked about that so many different times with the springs and all these other locations that people came to. They went to watch the wonderful water skiing things. Daytona was a draw from way back. I mean, let's not pretend you created an industry in Florida. Perhaps you supplemented and grew an industry that was Central Florida. Okay. But here's the interesting thing. You can't move the park, Bob. And the next time you threaten that, you should be laughed off stage. The institutionals know that. The informed investors know that. You cannot move Disney World. That is an irrational thought process. And you haven't invested in the state of Florida. You've invested in your own self-interest. Butthead.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Hey, Jean Francis.
I'm angry. I get mad at this.
Oh no. This has me seeing red every time I read it. And of course, hearing it live in real time when we're on Valiant's channel. That's why my head exploded. And a whole bunch of other Floridians were like, you've got to be freaking kidding me.
I try to keep it PG on your channel, and I do the same thing for Pro, and I do the same thing for VR, and because first of all, hey, hi YouTube, but I mean, it keeps it safe. and look, and I don't like to go into ad hominem attacks, but I'm just the weatherman is not, he wouldn't have been a good president because he doesn't know how to lie good. This is poor lying 101.
You don't have your eyes correct. I mean, let's put it this way. Even mobsters know what they're supposed to say and not supposed to say because they have consigliere to say, and you don't want to say that. But here's the other red herring, which is the other insult. I noted that our plans were to invest $17 billion over the next 10 years, which is what the state should want us to do. Talk is cheap.
Look, you just eliminated 7,000 jobs with at least 5 more to come. You are a lying POS. Look, you pulled a bunch of jobs before that. When the going got tough during the global crisis, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, you cut jobs left and right. You didn't support those people. No. Not even all those people have been brought back yet. And you didn't fill positions that have been without people in them for a long time. There were job openings that just sat empty. Look, you are not a state of Florida people. You're not. You're not incorporated in Florida. No. And you should be, but no. You're going to give Gavin Newsom, primarily a lot of your tax revenue. I don't even want to get into it.
But you don't talk greasy to Gavin Newsom. You don't talk like that
shut
to
you down for
the
a year.
CCP. You don't do that. But you talk crap down to the state of Florida and to Floridians because you're not from here. You don't have a vested interest in. Well, first of all, you forget that you're a guest in the state of Florida, and Florida is not California. And the other thing, because we were talking about the cast members during the pandemic, most of them got fired by email, not a personal call, let go by email. And other cast members are putting together like a food pantry, which Disney should have been doing. But after the fact, they say, oh, well, we made a donation or whatever to the food pantry. And of course, Bob here's talking about we pay them above minimum wage, substantially above the minimum wage dictated by the state of Florida. Okay, well, are you aware? And here's the other dirty secret that people don't talk about. There's a lot of cast members who live in a lot of those like weekly rate hotels on 192 because housing is so expensive in Orlando that with the quote unquote above minimum wage that they pay, it's not affordable. But they don't talk about that. They don't talk about how much in foreign labor that they bring in to work in the parks. They don't talk about that either. And they talk about we provide them with great benefits and free education. Okay, yeah, you kind of throw that in there, but considering how much you're not paying them, considering how tough it is, for the cast members and for folks who are thinking that the union is so great. Okay, so when I was at the Festival of the Lion King, I overheard some former cast members talking and basically said, union didn't do crap for me.
No,
never done crap for me.
No. And that's the problem because the union is essentially just another way to fund a political mechanism. That's all that is. It used to be something of value. It isn't any longer. And again, I mean, if unions have not helped Disney employees at all. That's why Abigail, as crazy as she is, has been calling out, everybody that, Disney employees are not cared for. Anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, they're not. And this last one. This one really made my head explode. Yeah. Does the state want us to invest more, employ more people, and pay more taxes or not? Thanks. Really?
That's the worst. Again, the reason he got testy there is because he knows where this all is going to go. And any investor paying attention that has a legal mind on their team probably knows where it's going to go too. Look, if DeSantis is in Florida long enough to follow through on this, it's done. They can take it to the Supreme Court all they want. They're going to say it's a state's issue. You're going to have to abide by your state Supreme Court. There's going to be a lot of pressure to move this through the system much faster. Disney only filed the lawsuit, and this was stupid, I know, but they filed it because it's a classic delay technique. and I've been talking about this forever, in politics and in legal matters, the best course of action when you have no power is to delay. How do you delay in an incident like this? You take it to court because it's going to delay things. And people are going to say, well, you know what? We have this lady that she's going on maternity leave, and she's one of our lead attorneys on this case. We're going to need another 6-week continuance. We're going to just hang on. We'll be happy to show up. And then 4 weeks into that, they'll be like, oh my gosh, we had a severe injury on and they're just going to keep stacking this crap and try to drag it out as long as they can. This is always what happens. So,
yeah, it's something else. And for those of you who are like, oh, well, we just have to wait till DeSantis gets out of office. Do you not realize the state
Go ahead.
The state legislature is highly proportional in Republicans. It is a Republican majority in the House and in the Florida Senate.
Yep.
I don't think you realize the only
70%. It's 70% are now. You overcoming that. You don't have the mechanisms to do it. And the Latino population, whether they be Cuban or from other countries, they are really pissed off right now. There's no way it's not gonna tip back blue. So it's legal clouding. Thank you, Winter Soldier. But I don't know, Lorena. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, it's, he could be the governor there forever. He has different aspirations than that, but I mean, if he continues to do what he's done there and he takes his game national and then he takes his game global, which I think would be the rational step there, since the United States still, for whatever reason, has some clout. I think not only the U.S. would change, I think the world would change. The question is, how do we get from A to B? And is he going to get influenced like Musk did and put in some WEF puppet? And again, I took this too political. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going to shut up.
But that's very important, because you have another thing people forget. The pandemic made a lot of people like me, although I'd planned to move, made us move faster.
Yeah.
For how many people left the Northeast, came to Florida, and were like, we do not want those same policies that these people were doing in the Northeast to come here.
Yep.
And that's what's going on. They're like, we do not want to go back to all that mess that happened then, don't want to deal with it. And you have a large influx of people who are like, heck no. Like, somebody had, my favorite t-shirt is, don't New York my Florida.
No. Well, and to be fair, I mean, you saw that in a lot of states, right? So anyway, I'm going to shut up because I will
a whole lot, but definitely here. So, hey, Dylan, say, but in a nutshell, okay, the earnings report, not so hot.
No.
Disney World attendance, that's definitely on its way down. It's not as great as it used to be. And also, the other thing to keep in mind, the people who were waiting to go on these trips after the pandemic is over, that's going to start to wane down. So the third quarter one is going to be real interesting, because there's another round of layoffs that are coming, and it's going to be interesting seeing what happens. Seeing what happens there. John Francis, hey, says, hey, Lorena, I made a meme about Bob Iger on a random stream in the past month. Asked for, may I send it to you to share? Yeah, sure. You can email me, LorenaCreole@gmail.com, or send it to me by Instagram. And wait, what? Dwayne Johnson got dropped by Disney? Looks like it's rumored to. Reportedly cuts ties. We'll have to wait and see. I will have to keep my eye on the big three, known as Deadline, Variety, and The Hollywood Reporter. Once it drops there, we definitely know that it's pretty much legit. And yes, my other favorite bumper sticker, we don't care how you did it up north. You're here now. So All right. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us. The show is a little bit shorter tonight. Mother's Day, we figured we'd take a little bit extra time. Thank you so much for being here. And Culture, can you let the folks know where they can find you?
Well, I'm easy to find. I am at Culture Casino everywhere. So except for Instagram, somebody else got my name. But yeah, I don't do Instagram. But I do Rumble, YouTube, Odyssey, Twitter, Minds, and Getter. And pretty soon I might go and do Kick. It's Kick seems to be kicking, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Okay, cool. Hey, Darkwing Duck, good to see you. I said happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the chat. Well, folks, thank you so much for being here. Your girl is going to be going on a little bit of a vacation. So thank you. I
You
need
need
it.
rest, love. And you got a mom. And you're a mom. I mean, this is Mom's Day. Get your rest. Where are you going? What you doing?
Well, let's see. Road tripping. I'm going to see my sister in North Carolina. Of course, they're waiting for me along with the little monsters. So we're going to have fun. And then, of course, I have to go back up to Philly to finish cleaning out my storage unit. And it's going to be real fun seeing the absolute mother load of Disney memorabilia and trading pins and Star Trek memorabilia and set props and autographs and the 5 Disney princess designer dolls that I am so embarrassed how much I paid, but I don't care because they're limited edition and they look fabulous. So cannot wait to show you guys all of that. So of course, you can find me tomorrow 6 p.m. Eastern on Ladies of the PGS with her over on the Burnett Network, and Tuesday, I hope you will join me for this on Tuesday, Theme Park Therapy. I am going to be talking about the Disney dining plan. It is coming back. However, you need some intel to be able to evaluate it because frankly, even though they haven't dropped all the details, trust me, it's not going to be really in your best interest. So we're going to talk about that on Tuesday. And let's see, Wednesday I'm gaming, so you can come laugh at me, see how many times I get Clinton playing Fallout 3. So you guys will have to check that out. And yeah, John Self, I'm really worried about that.
Yeah, and I may have a bunch of Disney merch available soon, or memorabilia available soon. So yeah, we keep running across boxes of stuff that there is no way to either display, save, whatever. So yeah. So I may start promoting that next Sunday. We'll see.
Yeah, we may have to start having Disney memorabilia yard sales.
Yeah, Culture has a yard sale on Lorena's.
Oh, don't forget the fart gun. Yeah, I got it. The best cheesy thing ever. So worth the $20.
All right. Thank you, Lorena.
All right,
this
folks.
was so much fun.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome, folks. It's great. So always glad to have you here. I will see you guys with the Welcome to Florida show in about 2 weeks' time. So, folks, take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.